The time has come to stand up for Nigeria.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria.
When you look around, tell me what you see.
The people are suffering.
When you look around, tell me what you see. You see the people wondering. You rich, getting richer.
All right. Good morning, viewers, listeners from Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world. This is Muhammadu Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Nigeria Now and Global Matters Arising. Yes, we're coming with a hot edition of Good Morning Africa. Hey, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. We got to stop killing one another. That's what they told us. One Nigeria. But what we have in one Nigeria, with the people dying everywhere. Ah, all right. Join us from TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You ready to roll? All right. And what are we going to be talking about today? Yes, war in Nigeria. There's an active war going on in Nigeria. Yes, though some people are living in denial about this war. Yes, today we are going to be examining the raging war in Nigeria. Right now, it is real. This is not a joke. Nigeria is at a war. Okay. And joining me from Los Angeles, California, is going to be Mr. Charles Ugumba. Yes, a young man at the time who joined the army at the age of 12 to defend his fatherland. Where you're going to be hearing from Mr. Ugumba, coming all the way from California. All right, we ready? Stand up, stand up. The time has come. Stand up for Nigeria. Everybody, every Nigerian should stand up now. Yes, that is what this moment calls us to do. Stand up for Nigeria. And during the course of this discussion, we're going to be sending a message to the House of people. And on the second thing there, all right, here is Chief Charles Ugumba is joining us right now, all the way from Los Angeles, California. All right, Chief Ugumba,
Yes, sir.
you are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The whole world is listening to you. We have the word from Facebook, the word from TikTok, and a lot of them coming from YouTube. Yeah, I was trying to run down what we're going to be considering in the course of this discussion. So I'm going to read it out to the people so that they will hear where we are heading to. All right. So one of the things we're going to be considering is a message to the Hausa people. Yes. And secondly, the recent killings in Kebbi and Kwara states, respectively, the masterminds of terrorism in Nigeria, including two Fulani defense ministers in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, rogue government for that matter. And then number 4 on the item is going to be, why is Bello Truji a Fulani killer? Why is he still at large? Why is it that the army has not been able to catch him? Wow, in Nigeria. And then 5th on the agenda is going to be the corrupt and compromised Nigerian military. Yes, the removal of General Christopher Musa And just yesterday, the slaying of General M. Uba. Then number 6 is seventh, the need to hold the Fulani emirs, religious and political leaders to account for the security compromise in Nigeria. And number 8, the potential consequences of Nnamdi Kanu's death in detention in the hands of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then the master of all, the biggest of all, the threat of military intervention in Nigeria by the United States. So, General Ogumba, you are welcome to the show. Now, if you are joining me for the first time, right here on YouTube, you know what you do. Because this is going to be an explosive thing. This is not, we are not playing. We are not playing at all. Dr. General Ogumba does not play. You see him, he's poison. He's a war man. Me too. I don't play. Yes, I'm a soldier. Yes, we are soldiers at the forefront of fighting for the liberation of Nigeria. We are not playing. You can't bribe us. You can't give us anything. We don't need anything. We just want Nigeria to be free. All right. So, the people of the world, you are welcome to the show. So, share this message like you've never shared any message before. We decided to wait for this time. You see what time it is? 12:20 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, where I am broadcasting from. And it is 10 p.m. Pacific, where General Ugumba is in Los Angeles, California. It is 1:20 a.m. Eastern Standard. So, and it is 7:20 a.m. in Nigeria, and whatever time it is, wherever you are on the surface of this earth. Like I said, we are not playing. If you're on TikTok, follow me like you've never followed before. And I thank all those who have been following us. If you're on YouTube, you know what to do. You're a first timer, we welcome you. Please click the subscription button and then also the notification button so that anytime we come online to tell you the truth that the mainstream media in Nigeria will never ever tell you, you'll be one of those to catch it. We have tentacles everywhere in Nigeria. So when they report the mainstream media, the laziest media on earth, they sit down and concoct story in their studios, and that's all. They never go and do investigative journalism. Our people are being massacred every day. The snippet of news we hear is just from ordinary everyday people who are able to record videos, and the lazy media in Nigeria will shamelessly be playing it when their men are supposed to be in the fields. Yes, like true journalists. See, corruption has wrecked Nigeria so badly. But in order not to, let's just dive right on. General Gumba, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for all the effusive appellations. Just because we are very serious here, I want to revert to my real name, which is just the ordinary Ugumba. I'm not a general, not by any means, not even remotely, probably in my previous life. But in this life, which I know is real, we have very important things to discuss. Please, when you talk about, oh, we want to bring people to account and so on and so forth, who will bring them to account? The Nigerian government is the terrorist itself.
Absolutely.
The Fulanis who are defense ministers and so on, they are just instruments. The Nigerian government itself is the terrorist, is the paymaster. He's the one who funds those helicopters. He's the one who buys those motorcycles. He's the one who brought all these mercenaries, this Bambara, into Nigeria, Bambara from Segu. He's the one, it is the Nigerian government. They are the only ones who can lift hundreds of thousands of people from another community and bring them pass through with no deterrence, no stoppage. You know, the motorcycles they drive do not come in from Tinkan Island. The Nigerian government sources it from abroad, stores it in a warehouse, in a clearing house, and just distributes them. Nobody can be as efficient as they are without a major, you know, present power supporting them. It is the Nigerian government. It's not a foreign government, because if it's a foreign government interfering with the borders of Nigeria, Nigeria will see the end to it. The Nigeria,
Absolutely.
yeah, the Nigerian government is the terrorist itself.
Okay. Let's follow this. We're going to follow this in sequence. Today, with the Hausa people are showing signs of a rebellion. It looks like there's a storm gathering uh, from among the Hausa people in the north of Nigeria. What do you have to tell these Hausa people by way of words of encouragement, letting them know the seriousness of the situation at hand?
If nothing is done, if everything stays the way it is, even the Hausa people cannot do it. Nigerians cannot do it. We have been a conquered people for a long time. We are all emasculated, infiltrated, except Trump comes like he says he will and uses drones to map out where these people are, and on a coordinate simultaneously just sends them the flowers contained in a missile to each of their congregation and burn them out into charred ruins. You see how we saw Iraqi weapons on the way from Kuwait to Baghdad. That stretch of road back when it happened, incinerated war machinery and so on. Okay, that is what we need in this case. The Hausa people, if you think Nigeria is suffering, talk about the people who have been under this barbarian, inhuman, infidels for 221 years. If you think Nigeria is suffering, imagine what Hausa people have gone through. You see people like Kwankwaso talking in Kano and so on. This is a place with 6% Fulani population, but they are the chairman of all the local governments in Kano. So Nigeria is far gone. The cancer is so deep. We cannot. We are already a defeated people. We're just a carcass, a skeleton walking. Only Trump can save Nigeria as it is right now.
That is strong. Only Trump can save Nigeria.
If even Nigerians have never consistently maintained the riot for 3 days, a civil, disobedience action for 3 days. You think they would be able, when the Nigerian army is fighting for the terrorists? What will you use to fight these terrorists?
Do
The
you know?
Nigerian,
Do you know the weight of what you just said?
yes,
Only Trump can save Nigeria. What happens to Nigeria's sovereignty?
Nigerian sovereignty. Nigerian sovereignty is synonymous with Muslim sovereignty. Nigeria, not Muslim, Fulani sovereignty. Nigeria is run by Fulani, 100%. Every other person is just picking crumbs. It's just what you call them, a lick spit. Somebody who licks the spit of Fulani. Fulani has not tried to do anything in Nigeria without success. Otherwise, where will you find the morals of Britain, who set this contraption together? This was an ironclad plan so that every you know procurement of Nigeria will come from Britain. That was why they did it. All our contracts and so on, except the one that they look at and say, okay, you can give that to Russia, or you can buy that from Germany. You can buy that from America. Everything is tied to Britain. What
You
what
mean 250 million Nigerians? What is the population of the Fulanis in Nigeria?
at the most 16 million,
And
15 million.
what is the source of their strength to be able to emasculate a whole country?
They are sitting on the shoulder of Hausa. They are sitting on the shoulder of Hausa, the single most populous entity, tribal entity in Nigeria. Hausa is more populous than Yoruba and is more populous than Igbo. And
Do
what
you have any biological proof to support this population superiority? I think I'm in disagreement a
okay,
little bit of that.
what I mean is Hausa and quasi Hausa. For a long time, this foolishness of Arewa, of North, and so on. There is nothing like Arewa. There is nothing like North. It's Fulani, and Hausa people followed them willy nilly. They got nothing to show for it. Even their own Islam is not recognized by Fulani. The Fulani said that 200 years ago. They're still saying it today. Otherwise, why would Fulani go into mosque and kill people of their own religion praying? They are either nihilistic or they're just heathens.
Yeah, but in the middle of all this, there appears to be a lot of rumblings among the Hausa people. Now, I bet they are beginning to come to the realization that they have been used for a very long time. I would say since 1804, that's about 221 years of being subjugated. Here comes some young Hausa people beginning to ask questions. What do you think about that?
Our realization and consciousness is one thing, ability is the second thing. Yeah, is yet to be seen that even with the new consciousness, if everything remained the way it is, and they decide to just vote, and Hausa people decide to just vote only Hausa candidates, whether they will even succeed, because the Fulani own the EFCC. Why would we need an electoral independent, what is not the EFCC? INEC,
Yeah,
independent national, electoral
Electoral
commission.
Commission. Yeah,
Why do we have to have a central clearing body for election? Look at America. Does America have any version of INEC?
no.
Otherwise, the state of Georgia, which is independent, will not be suing Trump for meddling with their elections. What they did, everything in Nigeria is federal, so that they can control from the top. What Britain set up in Nigeria we have always underestimated, the ironclad nature of it.
But don't you think? Yes, we talk about we released this British stranglehold on Nigeria all the time. Everybody rehearses it. But is there any reason we cannot take action like the United States did when they told the Imperial Britain to hell with you, we want to build our own country, and they did it and successfully did it, only to become the most powerful country on earth from which the British people now take permission if they want to do anything. If America does not go their way, they won't have to move. They will always want to go where America goes. Don't you think Nigeria can do that?
By then, the weapons of war were just musket and Dane guns. which blacksmiths can machine. You know, it's different today. It's not the ordinary Nigerian will have a hard time providing a cock and shoot gun that and manufacture the type of cast the bullets that will be effective. The Nigerians cannot have access to arms. If we all had access to defend ourselves, then all we have to do is organize a militia to overthrow our government. We are not able because Nigerians do not have access to arms. All the arms that you find have come through the eye of a needle
But the Fulanis have access to arms.
because the
So
government to them.
why, if they could have access to arms, why is it that the other Nigerians should not have access to those arms or cannot?
That's a different question. The Nigerian government itself is the quartermaster for the Fulani arms. That is inventory intended for Nigerian government, purchased with Nigeria's finances and diverted to Bambara.
Hmm. This is scary. This is scary. So now, in all this, because the talk about threat of military intervention by the United States was supposed to be on the last of what we are going to be discussing, but somehow something threw it up. So you are saying now is the situation in Nigeria is so hopeless that the people of Nigeria cannot stand up and say we are not going to have this anymore.
Only another government with its own national might can help the Nigerian people. The
Now,
Nigerian,
do
yes.
you consider the cost of another government bringing its war arsenal into Nigeria to fight on behalf of Nigeria? Do you
That is
think it's going to come free? Are
that.
we going to get
Wait.
into a more difficult situation
That's
than
why
we
it has
already
not been
are?
done. That's why it has not been done in over 20, 25 years when these killings started happening. The killings did not start with Boko Haram. Fulani has been killing people by genocidal waves every time it thought fit, every time it sees fit. It was not until recently that the Hausa began to see the divergence of their own beliefs and those of Fulani. It's just recently, after they started witnessing Fulani cannibalize Hausa people, perform, uh, violate women and girls inside mosques, kill people inside mosques, barricade mosques and set it on fire with people praying inside. Do you see the type of wickedness that they perpetrate? We used to read it about all those people who are against the Yazidis in Afghanistan, the Taliban, how wicked they used to be then. We didn't know it would get to our shores. You know, we are not fighting, we're not fighting Islam per se. We're fighting a barbaric civilization that wants to take over the world.
Hmm.
If they will take over Africa because they have already anchored in East Africa, Al Shabaab, North Africa, all the way down, we're just like the fringes of them to encompass North and West Africa. Central Africa will just be a cakewalk, you know.
Yeah, that area is already weak.
Yeah.
Look at democratic, that huge swath of land around Democratic Republic of Congo. The other Congo is just Congo and the person. That entire area is already so weak. Now, listeners, you are listening to ONN, Global Matters Arising. Yes, with Mr. Charles Ugumba from Los Angeles, California, with me here. Some time now. You know, right after the
Put
military,
put some put
usually the
some
military will
put
be
some. It's not funny, but put some weight on that. Don't say some time now. Say for over 2 decades now.
okay. All
Yeah,
right,
just
all
say
right.
it like that.
For over 2 decades, I take that wholesale. These killings have been going on, and it has gone progressive. It's not lessening. Now we are in a situation where we will say, yes, that last year was better, and it keeps going on. And Nigeria is silent. Nigeria is quiet. No action. People think it's business always. They pray to God for his mercies and intervention. And these interventions are not coming. What is responsible for the kind of mindset? Let's go to the mindset of Nigerians. Why are Nigerians this docile?
First of all, we are not supposed to be one nation. We are competing nations in Nigeria. You will find the Yoruba and the Igbo not wishing to get along. And one of them is far more in the forefront with a willingness to cooperate with Fulani, but you don't cooperate with a hidden, with somebody who has no morals. They just have other things occupying their time now, because eventually, when they have the result of all of that, they'll come back and take care of you. You're just now a convenience. So that is the way Nigeria was not supposed to be together. We are all competing. They set up in Nigeria nations that are fierce competitors with one another.
Hmm. Now, so at what point are we going to? Because I was listening to, there was a conference of the Yorubas about, I think that was two days ago, where there's one young man, Gani Adams, who himself was a terrorist at the time, fighting, they called themselves OPC, or Odua's People's Congress. He was there.
He's not a terrorist. He
No,
was
but
he,
notorious. He was
no,
a
no,
notorious.
no. He was a freedom fighter. He was fighting for his people.
Was he
For
a freedom fighter? Well, no,
he was fighting for Dudua, or for
no, but in the course of behind the Oduduwa fight, he committed a lot of mayhem, and he was rewarded with an oil contract. Yes, just like they are rewarding Asari Dokubo and Tompolo in the Niger Delta
to keep quiet,
to
that
keep
is to
quiet.
toe the line, to toe
Okay,
the line.
so what that does a freedom fighter? What will a true freedom fighter be? That kind of a freedom fighter?
Well, that is the thing. That is what separates them from the types of Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu has refused every inducement other than what he seeks.
Yes, so let's call them by what name they are. They are not, they are rogue freedom fighters. It's like you
Well,
making me believe that Asari Dokubo is a freedom fighter because he's from the same damn Niger Delta where they say I'm from. Or Tompolo, the one they call Tompolo. You know what that idiot did the other day? Thief. He donated 10 billion naira to Delta state government to fight insecurity. And nobody is raising a finger to ask a question where his 10 billion naira came from.
ask yourself this. Look at even this definition, South South. Do you find anywhere that is not North?
I
Do
don't
you
see
find
it.
anywhere that is West West?
I don't see
In
it.
Nigeria, what they
Yes.
want to do is to just marginalize and should I say reduce the struggle of the people of I'll call them Igbo heritage, people of the southeast region.
Yeah.
They move south, but there is no north,
No,
and
not not.
no,
And
there
then
is no west.
now, yeah, let's
There-
go back to something. Now, how did they arrive at this definition of the North? To be very candid, the area they say is south of Nigeria, you see that tiny place close to the Atlantic. That's the south. And then right from on top of Ocean, big expanse. If you were to demarcate north and south, would you make that kind of demarcation?
I told you that it is the ironclad. Britain did not become a superpower as small as it is by not having any brains. It's not like they were smarter than any people. They were just one of the first people to use muskets in warfare, and because they already have seafaring ships, the same thing. They are a quasi Fulani. They are like Fulani also. They invaded every country in the world except 22 countries.
Yeah, essentially, because I was reading an article the other day where one man said that Britain is the cause of all the world's problem. Do you agree with that?
We have more bigger fish to fry than
All
Britain.
right,
It
let's
took
go to
it would
Nigeria.
take
All
it
right.
takes in fact it will only take it takes only someone like Trump who does not respect his majesty or her majesty or British traditions or American and British relationships or whatever. It is whatever moves his whims. In fact, if Trump can resolve the Nigerian question, he will have been able to resolve the African question, because then Africans will see the light of who to emulate for the reordering of their countries. If he goes to fight terrorists, and even though I'm not a Christian, it will seem like majority of the world's people who are not Muslims are either Christians, at least in Africa. If he goes to fight Muslims wherever they are tormenting Christians, if he does it in West Africa, in Africa, and gets Africa sane again, that man will have rescued civilization. Because what is about to happen in Africa as the resources grow scarce and populations, explode, and you are putting all this pressure by creating displacement camps. I'm seeing churches in Borno State where grasses have grown. Today, in Imo State, thousands of Hausa, or I wouldn't call them Hausa, it's Bambara, because they're not just Fulani. They are Bambara.
Hmm.
Thousands of them on motorcycles doing a dry run in Owerri. On motorcycles, one brand, the same brand, which means it is from one supplier. It's not like you will find Honda motorcycles, Yamaha, or this. It's just some brand. Nobody else is financing. We can't even say that, oh, this big man or these governors in the north is financing terrorism. They are not big enough. This is Nigeria's government funds that are being diverted to support this
By who?
by the people who run the Nigerian government.
Okay, thank you very much. Now they talk about fighting terrorism. Oh, let's fight these people. Let's bomb them. Let's do this. Let's do that. But nobody is talking about the mastermind. So how come we are so brainless to not look in the direction of the masterminds of terrorism in Nigeria? It's not like they are not known. If you ask me, I can call all their names, right? They know. So why is it that they are looking for the ones hiding in the bush? Don't you think that if they cut the supplies, everything will dry up and the boys in the forest will come out?
You are talking.
Why are they not talking about the mastermind?
You are
Why are
talking
they
about.
not talking about Saad Abubakar?
You are talk. You are talking about the mastermind. Who will bail the cat when those people are just agents of the government? The government itself is the terrorist just because it is operating through some humans, through some people you are calling masterminds. Who is going to go after them when the government is the one giving them their, marching orders?
Hmm. Wow. Wow. Hey, so thank you very much for joining. Thank you, thank you. And hey, Thomas, thank you. We appreciate you. Yes, and all those who have joined us from YouTube, yeah, see the number is rising big time. And yes, back to Chief Mr. Gumba. Yeah, but yes, we have cases. The vice president is not my vice president. The rogue vice president of Nigeria is one man who is connected to Boko Haram. It's not hidden. Those who bombed the United Nations building in 2011 were arrested in his house. And the people of Nigeria knew this. The defense minister, two of them, one state, one the substantive, are men connected to Boko Haram. One of them was a governor of Zamfara state for 8 years. He quartered, he quartered in the state house. There was a reservation for those who are behind the banditry. Even the current governor came to accuse him to say that the government should hold him accountable. But today is the minister of defense. How can you fight terrorism with a terrorist?
Okay. Um, Look at how much money that Abacha was able to loot in a small space of time. Maybe somewhere they put it around, 10 billion, whatever like that. If these people, with their capacity with which they make themselves the minister of petroleum, are able to salt away a significant number of billions, 5 billions, for instance, and they want to use 5 billion to purchase arms to equip these terrorists. Do you know how far 5 billion, 10 billion will go towards that? Nigeria, when you see them, photos of the Nigerian army in battle, do you see what they do? They fight like pre 1918 First World War soldiers. They go and say, ta 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 ta. Do you see any exhibition of military tactics, of maneuver, of whatever, in whatever they do? Oh, ta 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 ta. They show them, they're shooting from, they shoot them, pa 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 pa. And some people will cry, well, we will kill you people. Is that is that when you see Ukraine, when they're fighting in Ukraine, do you see anything resembling what Nigerian army is doing? Those even Boy Scouts will not do that. We have been for a long time. Again, we have to, first of all, we are in an age of reality, new realities. The Hausa are realizing themselves and saying, no, we are first and foremost Nigerians. We are no longer one with this Fulani. Nigerians now must begin to say, no, this government is not our government. This government is a cloakroom government. It has been hijacked. The people acting on our behalf are not representing our interests. And that is what it is. It is the Nigerian government that is the terrorist. If you go and listen to speeches by Shetima, the supposed vice president, you will know that this man has read and reread and learned lines of debate When they are trying to say, about, oh, what about the terrorism in Nigeria and so on, he starts talking about world conditions, how there's war in Asia, there's war in Ukraine, how the war is going to hell in a handbasket, and so on and so forth. They are trying to get him to listen. We are trying to pinpoint to the issues pertaining to Nigeria. He will start reading rehashed lines.
All right. Okay. You said ta 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 ta. Wait, ta 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 ta. Was it the same thing you did in Biafra in your time?
Well, in Biafra, I never fought in an infantry. I was never in an infantry, battalion.
Yeah.
I was in a guerrilla battalion,
Okay.
Raiders Battalion, Port Harcourt Strike Force Brigade
Yeah.
was a guerrilla battalion.
Okay.
Yeah, we were never a match for Nigeria's Third Marine Commando, but we outmaneuvered them and we beat them with fine Reiki, with good Reiki. We scout them very well.
Wow.
And
Wow.
every time we take them, that is, we never let them, we put them on a tailspin. That's what a tailspin. They
Wow.
just could never regroup.
Wow.
What the Nigerian army is doing, what they are calling if they do that for 100 years, they will never. Have you ever seen the Nigerian army intervene, intercept a terrorist convoy of 500, 700 motorcycles going to go destroy one community? I mean, driving 20 miles away. Do you,
Never.
with
Never.
all what Nigerians complain about fuel, have you ever seen a terrorist stuck somewhere because their fuel finished?
No.
They are being stocked with everything. It's an efficient system. And if this system was not a Nigeria system, the Nigerian government, with all the amount of money and the kind of support it can call from foreign expertise, it would have been able to track where those helicopters are coming from, where those motorcycles are shipped from. You get what I mean? The
Yeah.
port from which they depart, they will have traced it by now. Have you ever heard the Nigerian government mention anybody? They are the terrorists. And you know what? America will dismantle this Nigerian government. When they come in, they will dismantle the Nigerian government. They will not be into any operations together with Nigerian troops because Nigerian troops will sabotage them. They will tell Nigerian troops to hands off. If they decide not to, they will be incinerated.
Whew. Wow. Wow. I feel now. One question. You and I live here in the United States. United States has been to Iran. United States has been to Afghanistan and other places. A lot of people have concerns about Nigeria being left worse off, like Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan were left worse off allegedly by the United States. Do you see a potential for a repeat of such under this circumstance? It was a different. There were different presidents at the time. This is Donald Trump. Do you think that Donald Trump, if he goes into Nigeria, will do a clean job and leave Nigeria better and stable, or put Nigeria on the platform of democratic progression?
Any job that America does is 100 times better than the situation that Nigeria is facing. Any job that America does. If America comes and dismantles Nigeria's government and say, even abolishing INEC will give Nigeria a better chance to choose people, communities to choose delegates to represent them. The US government must scrub the Nigerian government, abolish the Nigerian government. Let the people start afresh all over. And beside that, it must abolish the Nigerian army. That army is a corrupt army, is infested, you know.
Hey, thank you, plant based. Much appreciation. Thank you very much. We appreciate.
Yes. So there is no way America will come into Nigeria and it will not be for the best. At least it will liberate Hausa people. It will probably,
You know,
yes.
it's interesting with the way the discussion is going. You know, when Donald Trump first made that announcement, some people were talking about sovereignty, and a lot of people were talking about territorial integrity. I did ask them, where is the sovereignty of Nigeria? And truly, where is the territorial integrity with a Nigeria that is overrun, especially from the northern flank of the country, where people come in and do whatever? That has been going on for ages. Even when I lived in Kano, it was going on. It was a mess. Jibia was a hub of what do you call it? Uh, Smuggling. So they have been going, and it's easier for them. They speak that Hausa language, and everything goes. You know. So I keep asking them, where is this sovereignty? Do you see any sovereignty in Nigeria? Do you see territorial integrity? I just want to know. I don't know. You have lived in the north, right?
Of course, there is territorial integrity. It is Fulani territorial
Okay.
integrity, not Nigerian territorial integrity, because Fulani admits whoever they want. If you see what Fulani immigration officials do to expatriates for companies coming to work in Nigeria, before you get an expatriate quota, you will pay bribe until your nose, you know, begins to weep, you know, to get an expatriate quota. They screen everything, make it so impossible to come into Nigeria, but they leave a boundary porous, you know. If you're a Dutchman coming to work for a milk company in Kano, I'm just saying, a condensed milk company, you're a Dutchman, or you're, or whatever, try and get an expatriate quota for that white engineer or plant manager or refinery technician. You know, it's impossible. They make it seem like coming into Nigeria, no, but through the borders for their own people to come in, that's a cakewalk. We can't continue having that.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. You know, you've been talking about Fulani, but it is fair. Is it fair to generalize? Is every Fulani like this? Do they have that, potential to be this exact way you are describing, like making it look like it's you know, is every Fulani? Is it fair? Don't you think there are some good Fulanis, moderate Fulanis, those who truly love Nigeria to the extent that they don't want some of these things happening to be happening?
Yes, but back in the days when in ABU, even if you didn't pass with 4 or 5 credits in the school start, you get remedial courses and so on. They do everything to make sure that you get ahead. And all those positions were open to any Fulani who tried. You have a free ride from here to all the scholarships in the world, anywhere you want. So the important Fulani people today who are educated were people who benefited from that system. They benefited, their education, their elitism was paid for by their tribe. Some of them, like you will hear Dati, who ran with Peter Obi, make constructive statements, think like a Nigeria. but they are a small minority. Their voices are drowned. They have no voice. They have no voice. Those are citizens who have elected out of their own accord to comport themselves as Nigerians rather than tribal, kingpins and things like that. They will survive in a new Nigeria, but Nigeria will rid itself of all this. Just wait. When George Bush announced that he was going into Iraq, the buildup was over 6 months. You know that, right?
Yeah.
From the time they announced to when they arrive, they don't just say they will come and they arrive today. What Trump has said is that it's not just Nigeria, it's to eliminate religious wars, especially Muslims picking on members of other religions, particularly Christians, that anywhere that exists, it is now the main focus of the US's new Department of War.
Hmm.
They have a new mandate. It's not to wait for them and China or Russia to quarrel or whatever. The new wars they will be fighting for is the one that has impoverished the earth, that has caused a lot of upheavals, you know, in economies and in countries all over the world.
Now, thank you very much. Now, there's this notorious. It's not like he matters, but for the sake of this conversation, we have to talk about it. And the Nigerian army has been. They claim they have been after this game. They say they are. We are. We are had. There was a language a general used. A general that was interviewed on the national TV in Nigeria. He said they know where they are. We're tracking him. We've been tracking him. That's a Bello Truji in Sokoto that is causing a lot of mayhem in Sokoto there. Up till now, up till now, the Nigerian army has not been able to effect his arrest. What do you think is possible? What? No, I know, you're laughing. I'm laughing because of the variances between where we live and what is happening in motherland Nigeria. I know that
The
no
Nigerian
terrorist.
army is the terrorist. How can they catch him?
Oh,
What are
okay,
you
you
talking
have
about?
that position. They won't
Nigerian
catch him.
army is the terrorist. The Nigerian government is the terrorist.
Is the terrorist.
Why and how will they catch him? Will
So
they,
now,
they catch him?
shortly, do you want Nigerians to continue to trust this army of Nigeria?
It don't matter whether they trust it or not. It has been foisted on Nigeria. Except a superpower like the US removes it off of our neck. We have no choice. It's not. It has for a long time not been a Nigerian. The army of Nigeria.
Okay, let's leave that alone. Bello Truji
It's an occupation army.
is an occupation army. Is a man that will never be arrested because I've seen it. Now, Saad Abubakar, Sultan of Fulanis in Sokoto, and one who I believe the British positioned that if any person who occupies that position to feel that he is in charge and the owner of Nigeria. This young man, about your age, my age, we belong to that age range, he makes provocative statements every day and nobody reins him in. What do you think about that position of Sultan in Sokoto? What significance is it to Nigeria?
I'm sorry for him. He is the last sultan. he will be the last sultan.
You
He
got
should,
it. You
I'm
got
so,
it.
very, very sorry for him because there will be a new dispensation. I am surprised that Hausa people have not started appointing, emirs, you know, because they should have Hausa emir who is head of Hausa Muslims. They should have them now. They should be having them parallel to this Fulani until the Fulani are discarded. Because they will, when these things are going to be solved, once these things are solved, I don't know, maybe because America will not be coming to Nigeria to look for weapons of mass destruction. It will take them shorter than 6 months. But if America actually makes landing, you know, uh, before Christmas, Saad Abubakar will be gone. He will be
Okay.
gone.
There's a statement here by one Rise with Wisdom. He says America is coming to liberate Nigeria. We liberate the houses. That is 100% correct. That's what he said. You
Yes.
want to say something about that?
Who will that America will liberate the Hausas?
Yes.
Yes, that's the only way. Nigeria can't liberate the Hausas. Fulani has Nigeria emasculated. Nigeria is conquered as we speak.
Scary thing, man.
They are everywhere, and the Nigerian army cannot stop. No civil force, no Nigerian civil force has ever been able to win these terrorists in a firefight. Even if victory is about to be snatched by Nigerians, their commanders will ask them to withdraw.
Yes, that's one thing. I still have friends in the army. They call me, but I don't like discussing anything with them because I feel angry every time I speak with them. Or after I finish speaking with them, I feel really sad. And especially soldiers from other parts of Nigeria, what they go through inside the army
Mhm.
is unbelievable. They are treated like third class citizens. Yes, you see a young Fulani boy who has no rank disrespecting a brigadier general from Igbo land, from other places. And whenever they tell me things, because I know I have an experience with the army too, and I feel sick. I feel sick. That army, I've always said it. I'm sure you heard me. The army is not the army of the Nigerian people. Otherwise, why should we have an Arabic insignia on the logo of the Nigerian army? And when people start asking questions, you see how these people react. Yes, I see. I want to see that army gone. Let me be very honest with you. I want to see the demolition of the Nigerian army. That is not an army. It never has been an army. The army of Nigeria, the Nigerian army changed course in 1966 when they seized power and they destroyed everything. And it has been a progressive destruction of everything on purpose in Nigeria.
Before I used to wonder why, the coup happened or whatever and so on. But looking back now, you can see that those military officers already saw this handwriting on the wall.
Yes, they did.
They already saw this handwriting on the wall, how everything was already ordered for Fulani control of Nigeria. And that's why they struck. But Britain helped Fulani to get on top of the narrative and color the story of the Civil War and color the story of the coup itself and make it seem like, oh, they killed Muslim leaders. But now, those Muslim leaders, it has been shown are not the same type of Muslims like you. The Fulani Muslim leaders are not the same type like Hausa. They don't have the same beliefs, because I cannot imagine any Christian, as they are plunging a dagger into another human being of any religion, you, oh, glory be to Jesus, and you kill somebody.
No, it will never. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
And you know, there is only one solution for terrorists. It is the way Israel treats them. So these people, they are eating their last meals in the forests, in the bushes, wherever they are. They are lame dogs. They don't know what drones can do. That all their, right now, all their coordinates is being mapped out, wherever they are.
Yeah, this is. Sometimes I think about Nigeria, I cry. There was a day I was broadcasting here. I've not even released that. I just started. I went out there crying. It was so much. Like, it's not like Nigeria has been such a very good country. Like, looking at what happened in 6 years after the country went up in flames, and you saw it firsthand. I watched it from the periphery of war, from the eye of a child. But somehow, I think I was endowed by this memory that whatever I put in, I don't take. I retained a lot of things, and how it impacted my own immediate family. My older immediate senior brother died. Because there was no hospital to take him to. My parents took him to the hospital. The whole hospital were occupied by the army. So this young man uh, was brought back home. I saw my brother gasp for air until he died. I saw it from the eye of a child. My father was down, rolling, rolling. This thing set me back for 3 years. I didn't enroll in elementary school when I was supposed to, because my father never stopped crying. So I had to be around him, go to the farm with him. And even in the farm, he wasn't able to do anything but cry. That thing really hurt so badly. And the people don't understand the plight of people who have seen this whole thing. It's so
When you
painful.
when you see when you see the video of a man who lost his wife and all his children,
Yeah.
or the wail of a woman who lost her husband and her children and maybe has a gunshot wound, that wail reaches heaven, wherever heaven is. And it's unfortunate that uh, even the British government has not seen it fit to speak up for one of their own. What is the essence of British citizenship if Britain will not intervene? They have not never ever made it. Anyway, everything ends today. What today will reveal, that is the 20th, right? For Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Yes. Today will reveal what the Nigerian government has in store. Because it will seem to me, because something like this has never happened to them before, they don't know how to think whether America will come, will not come, will they continue as business, with business as usual? Do they have to tamper things down so that America decides to pull out and not come at all, and they continue with what they are doing, and we find out better ways of doing it, more systematic ways of taking all over Nigeria? Huh? Can you imagine a church in this modern day? We are not Syria, we're not Baghdad, we're not doing Roman ruins.
Yeah.
You find a church in Borno State with grass growing in it now. You find communities where houses used to be, and the people have left that village
Yes.
4 or 5 years ago
Yes.
because they were chased out.
Yes.
Yeah, all of those places now, the abandoned settlements.
It's sad.
And you will hear a few Hausa people, oh, Igbo people are this, Igbo people are that. Igbo has never killed Hausa people, en mass, or set up an organization, St. Christopher's Crusaders, or St. Gabriel's Warriors, or Warriors of Mary, to go and kill Muslims, or go and kill Hindus, or Christians have not done that. Igbos have not done that. Igbos have not killed Yorubas to go to fight them. Their actual enemies has turned them against themselves. They refuse, they will not face Fulani, who is their enemy. As you probably know, my Facebook, this is about my third version. If my earlier ones that were, hijacked or whatever, I've been talking about, I was talking about Fulani when it was not even in fashion. When it was not even in fashion. Because I know them. I know them very like the back of my hand.
Wow. All right. Now back to before I go to Nandekan again, there's this organization they call Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, and then they have their opposite on the other side. They call Christians Association of Nigeria. But I'm going to talk about the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in Nigeria. Now, the organogram has it that the Sultan of Sokoto is always supreme head, and then the Secretary General will always be a Yoruba. But just yesterday, I started reading, doing some research about how Islam came to Yoruba land. And then I saw something very striking that Yorubas, parts of Yoruba, some Yorubas have been Muslims for 300 years before the birth of Osman and Fodio. So how come is it that Fulani has to be the head, a Fulani Sultan has to be the head of Muslims in Nigeria? How did they come to that arrangement that became acceptable to all Muslims in Nigeria? That this terrorist and dictator is the supreme head. Just like Bola Ahmed Tinubu sent a bill to the National Assembly to make him the permanent co-chairman of the Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council, even though he's not a traditional ruler. Yeah, I want you to weigh in on this so that especially young Nigerians will understand. Because the problem with the young Nigerians is that they have no appetite to read. It hurts me that they don't read. They don't even do research. They're busy doing some crazy things outside of looking for the truth so that they can be better Nigerians.
Well, I want to thank the group of Nigerians who fought very hard to ensure that that U.S. attention is brought to these matters. Because Britain was not going to help Nigeria. So when you wonder, oh, why did the Sultan? Why is he the chairman of? Britain has overwhelming economic considerations that trumps its morals. What it set up in Nigeria is ironclad. Only a superpower, if Trump will solve this African question, he will have finished all his good work on earth. Everything he has done on earth will be forgiven. That alone will can put him in heaven if a place like that exists. Because the misery that Britain cooked for black people, she put Fulani at the head of the table to dispense it. Because once you have Nigeria in your pocket, you have Africa in your pocket, who will lead? Who will bail the cat? Nobody. These guys planned coup after coup after coup to fine-tune our constitution until they have us hog tied. You see how they tie hogs in a campfire, roasting when people are roasting a hog in a campfire.
Yes.
Yeah, they tie it with the two hand and the two leg on a pole in a stick over a flame. That is what Britain did to Nigeria.
But they did this to Nigeria. And is there anything that placenta? Because in 2023, um, uh, during the months leading to that sham of an election, all five presidential candidates filed out and went to British Chatham hell of a house to reel out their manifestos that are supposed to be for the Nigerian people. How, you witnessed that, you experienced that, all of them went to Britain, starting with this rogue, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, all of them went to Chatham House. What were they looking for?
That's what Tinubu used to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Balabulu. Yes.
We just pray for America to come. Nigerians can't solve their problem. We are a defeated nation. If anybody is telling you something different from that, anybody is saying, we are just cooked. Unfortunately, we are black people, you know. And if we see like in America, black people fought for civil rights, and somehow they eventually got it. In Nigeria, we don't have the same goals. The Igbo and the Fulani and the Yoruba are not on the same page. The Hausa and the Igbo are not on the same page. The only people who cooperate is Yoruba and Fulani.
Is What can we do to get Nigerians to really start thinking that they have a country to build? What can we do? You and I don't think that way
Well, see,
because we are conscious.
the thing is this, is that
Yes.
it used to be an Igbo problem. They are the ones who are dissatisfied with Nigeria. But now, even in Kwara State, in Ondo State, Ogun State, all of them, they are feeling terrorists. They are seeing terrorists attack their communities.
Yes.
So they are Nigerians, and most especially Hausa, they are beginning to see what it is like to be the victim. Before, they thought that they and Fulani are the ones giving out the injections, the shots. Now they see the shots, the injection being plunged into them.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, Nnamdi Kanu. Let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was first incarcerated for nearly 4 years, if not even over. The very first time they heard him. Then there was a momentum being built towards the commencement of his trial. There was a court case, a court date set, and he did not show any sign that he was about to run away. All of a sudden, their python started crying. They went on their Operation Python dance, and they massacred, I think, 28 or 30 persons in the operations. What they wanted to do, I believe, was to stampede him into running away so that they would say he jumped bail. Yes, they were the ones who orchestrated that.
No,
Somehow,
they wanted him killed, and it would be that
yeah,
like his followers attacked the Nigerian
yes.
army, and the
I
Nigerian
mean,
army defended itself, and in the course
yeah.
of it,
I don't know.
he became a
I don't know
casualty.
how he was able to escape. I don't know how he was able to escape. That was a razor, a very close thing. But that happened, and that scared me, and that started making me really worry. But I remember something that happened in 1984 on the streets of London. Umaru Diko, smuggled by Israeli agents paid by the same Muhammadu Buhari. They caught him, drugged him, put him in a diplomatic crate on the way to Nigeria. I think something attracted the curiosity of an airport security who ordered against international norms for them to open what they had in the diplomatic bag. There, Umaru Diko was. Now, years after that, Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya, and then he was kidnapped. Again, the same Buhari in power. They smuggled him into Nigeria to put him where he is right now. Does that tell you something?
Well, every government has the capacity to perform nefarious acts and so on. It is it's a government act. There's nothing. What other name can we call them that we haven't called them? You know, it's the Nigerian government. The the emasculation of Nigerians that they want to perpetrate is unending. They will do everything to achieve it.
Hmm. All right. Nnamdi Kanu has been held second time now, going to 5 years. So what do you feel? I don't wish him bad. The guy is suffering. Well, he has committed his life because I hear him still defiant, and I respect him because he's doing what I believe I would do in if I were in his situation, non-compromising. Because what is there to lose? Yes. And that what do you what do you think would happen if by any chance, God forbid, Nnamdi Kanu dies in detention?
Well, nothing more important will happen than the sum total of what could happen or what will happen if America intervenes in Nigeria. That's the only thing we are praying for. If he dies in detention and America does not intervene, I wonder if anything will happen. And but if he's in detention and America intervenes. In fact, he's going to be released today. If he's not released today, then the battle lines will have been crossed. If this Nigerian government or this Nigerian court was to pronounce judgment on him, and if the Nigerian court, let's leave the Nigerian government aside, if the Nigerian court is to pronounce judgment on him and sentence him today to imprisonment or to death or anything, it is, they are also just filling their cup. You know, their cup is about to run over.
Wow, wow. All right, man. We've said a lot. Now to the emirs in the north, to the religious leaders in the north, and to the political leaders in the north who are behind this act of terrorism that's tearing our country apart. What message do you have for them?
Their names will be rendered in playing card format, just like the US put all those top Iraqi politicians on playing cards and circulated them so that anywhere you see them, you know they are wanted. There's no way that the US will be coming into Nigeria without a compilation of the people who will be wanted. All of them will be on the run, including all these emirs. Remember again, is they're not just even talking about terrorism now. They are saying it is Muslim terrorists killing Christians. It's not just that terrorists, it's not just that hoodlums or bandits. The Americans do not call them bandits because they're not bandits. The Fulani tried to infuse that name into common use, bandits. As if they don't know the difference in the dictionary meaning of bandit and terrorists, you know. So all of those people, they are toast. All these emirs, these are the last emirs, except America does not come because Nigeria will change. And the good thing is, um, even though the Fulani played their card terribly bad by attacking Hausa communities, if they had overrun all of Nigeria before they started attacking Hausa, it would have been easy peasy for them. But they miscalculated because all the rogue commanders in the bush of this terrorist militia or ragtag army, they are illiterate. They did not, they're just after a pound of flesh. They did not think about, they have no idea of political ramification other than to take over land and territory. Unfortunately, a superpower who does not use the same weapons that they have, because what they have is like they'll be using catapult. They don't know what is coming for them. They have no idea.
Do you see Nnamdi Kanu renouncing Biafra if he's released?
It's impossible. Impossible.
Why are you so convinced?
Huh?
Why are you so convinced?
Because the Biafra has grown bigger than Nnamdi Kanu. Even if you renounce Biafra, somebody like me, I will never renounce Biafra. I'm a Nigerian of Biafran extraction. Until Biafra comes, I'm not going to rest. I'd rather die thinking that Biafra will come one day, if contributing in my own way, getting the word out, never resting, and calling authorities about it. If my writings are ever unearthed one day, they will know what I fully believe. So even if Nnamdi Kanu was to renounce Biafra, there are a lot of die-hard people who will not.
Yeah, Chairman Ugumba, thank you very much for always being yes at just at our disposal, to help Nigerians and the world understand a lot more what is taking place in our dear country. And we are hoping that we'll get that solution. But I hope solution will come faster because a lot of people are suffering, a lot of people are dying, a lot of people are without food, a lot of young people are without jobs. That makes it very, very painful. Now, before you leave, there is something that I have personally noticed: the youth migration in Nigeria.
There's some distortion on the phone network. So if you kindly repeat what you're saying.
Okay, yes. What I'm saying is um, the youth migration in Nigeria.
Yes.
I am saying that I don't think it is normal because of the demography and then the regional distribution of those migrating outside Nigeria. The migration is a lot more in the south of Nigeria, and it makes me make believe that there is something that is being done to chase those children out of Nigeria that had to trek for hundreds of miles across the Sahara into Libya, where they are traded as commodities, sexually abused, and a lot of them murdered before they find their. Some of them who are lucky find their way in raft boats across the wide Mediterranean into Italy and other European countries where they are kept in concentration camps and fed dog food. And then now, as these young people migrate, we see strange faces who are part of what we are discussing today, taking over the vacuums that they created. Like in my hometown now, it's a lot of strange people that we don't know. They are not Hausas. They are not the typical people that we are used to. I am disturbed about that. Like, son, there's this is an exchange. You know, young people massively leave, and then they create a vacuum that these strangers that we don't know anything about occupy. And in the middle of the night on daytime, they are kidnapping our people, raping our women, and all that. It's something that I just wanted to point out. I don't know how much you know about it, but I feel like sharing it with the world. Something is not right about that type of migration. It's not the type of migration you and I, did with our knowledge that we are sharing with the people here in the United States.
Well, look at it this way. In the movie Godfather, Don Corleone goes to Sicily and he's asking relatives, but who owns all these magnificent buildings that nobody is living in? They say, oh, the owners have all either died in blood feud or they have migrated to America. People will always chase green pastures, uh, to better their life and so on and so forth. It would have been a dangerous occurrence if the coming American, action in Nigeria is not even contemplated at all. But if it will come and regularize what was distorted, then it will not matter all these strange people because they will be powerless people. They will not be in our communities and be our lords. They are our lords now because not only is our government equipping them over us, our government is their paymaster. But when our government is no longer able to perform those roles, these people, they are going to be stranded. They will die in our forests. You watch and see.
Wow, thank you, thank you. This is unbelievable. And if I had my way, I would continue. And but let's keep talking about this, Chief Ugumba. Really, sincerely from my heart, and on behalf of ONN and Open Nigeria, which we're a part of, we say a huge thank you for being part of this conversation. You ignited a lot of things. You need to see if you are reading what people are writing. You see a lot is people. We need to lighten the minds of our young people. That is what we have not had the luxury of people who are thinking right doing for our great country. Seriously, Nigeria is in a mess. How can you see a country? How can it be in a country where criminals are leaders at all levels? Criminals. Not. I'm trying to find one exception. I have not been able to find one. Going from my state, from councillor up to local government chairman, to member of House of Assembly, to member of House of Representative, to the senator, on to the rogue president, and you look in the direction of the judiciary, there is nothing. In the National Assembly, there is nothing. In the strategic national institutions, including the armed forces, there is nothing. It's a hopeless situation. Hopeless. Nigeria has been captured.
Well, uh, it did not take more than 60 years to do this, so there is hope. You know, there are some cultures that where this type of situation persists for hundreds of years. Hopefully, America will come to our aid. Look at the Persians, you know, who are in Los Angeles all over. They too were like Jews. Their homeland was taken from them by Turkey, you know, by Muslim elements. What are the Armenians?
Mm.
They don't have a homeland. They were like Jews. But they, instead of organizing themselves like they should, they were more engaged in who is selling the larger square footage of carpet in Los Angeles than channeling their money to either buy. I thank the people. I thank Nnamdi Kanu for the equipment that Eastern Security Network got to at least hold these terrorists somewhat at bay and make them realize that they cannot just be bringing their cattle anyhow that they see fit in Igbo land and so on and so forth. But a lot needs to be done. And I don't think Nigerians have the mindset to be able to unite to do it because we are three competing people with different agendas. Yorubas have a different agenda. Hausa have a different agenda, which is not yet fully declared because they have never been able to be masters of themselves. And Igbos, everybody knows what our agenda is. We want out of the boss. We don't want to be part of that BS that they are doing.
So, okay, now with the belief that America will come and do what they need to do, what has to be done, what Africans ought to be doing, but they are failing to do it because we don't have an African Union that works. I would have loved to see African Union for of African countries coming to invade Nigeria. That's what it would have been. It would have been more. It would have been better. I would have felt a lot better with it. But there's no African country with that type of muscle. It is only Nigeria that would have had that type of muscle to do whatever they want to do positively in Africa, like they did sometime when they had a semblance of what looked like a good leadership. Well, we went and intervened in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and the much we did to break the back of apartheid. And then in the whole of Southern Africa, our involvement with Angola, Zimbabwe, and other Mozambique. Now Nigeria has been reduced to this non-entity in Africa. It hurts knowing the history of Nigeria and what the potential Nigeria has. Nigeria is supposed to be a direct equivalent of the United States in Africa. It's sad, isn't it sad, man?
Well,
Do you think we will get back to that pathway where the type of leadership that we need to take us in that direction? Who is going to lead Nigeria in, to that pathway?
well, see, there is only one stark difference between the West and Africa. And that difference is this. In the West, every community is empowered to hire, fire, and equip its own law enforcement. There is no country in Africa where police is not federal. And the reason for federal police doing work in the provinces is for a particular tribe or a particular group to be in power persistently. That is what is happening in Africa. Africans cannot rise against their government because they don't have the power to be the adjudicators of what is right and wrong. You know, so until that type of democracy logjam is broken in Nigeria, and then maybe a province in Kenya will have its own police that Nairobi cannot tell what to do, just like the police in Georgia will not take orders from the police in Washington or whatever, and things like that. Until we have that kind of law enforcement in Africa, Africans will never be empowered. We will not be able to curb corruption because when somebody steals our money or provincial money and you want to prosecute them, and somebody higher up, their relative or the person that they give a percentage of their take, calls for the files from above, you turn it in and they put it in the refrigerator, and that's the last of it, you hear from it, then corruption will persist. So, for Africa to be able to curb corruption and become able to stand on its own feet as an entity, they must, you know, uh, we must have our own law enforcement at the grassroots level.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you. We had fun here and a lot of comments. A lot of comments. So we look forward to seeing you. Hopefully, in no distant time, to continue to talk about the way forward for Nigeria, and we are hoping that an intervention comes quickly, either from Nigerians, from Africans, and those who must do what must be done to prevent Nigeria from degenerating into another Somalia that will take the whole of Africa down. Thank you very much, Mr. Gumba.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. We hope that our people will get the better end of this.
All right, you have a good night. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye bye.
You bet.
Yes. Yes, listeners, viewers from Nigeria, across Africa, here in the United States and around the world. We thank you, all of you who tuned in to be part of this conversation. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Please do us a favor. This is a very serious discussion from what the reaction that we have seen so far. And please don't keep it to yourself if you're a Nigerian and an African. Share this message, and recommend our channel to your friends and well wishers. We speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We are not afraid of anybody. Nobody gives us anything except those who support us from their heart of heart to help us expand our mission, expand the message to reach more people, and to be able to support those who are needy that as much as we can. So that is why we are building this network of ONN and the Open Nigeria and Africa Unite. So our job is to bring uh, the African continent together in line with the vision of our founding fathers. Africa has not fared well. And yes, we were colonized, we were enslaved, we had apartheid, and we had imperialism, and now we are dealing with globalization, And all these things happen at the expense of Africa and to the detriment of the African people. And this situation should be inspiring for us to say, hey, let us ask ourselves questions. Let's look at one another eyeball to eyeball. How long are we going to continue? Because I know one of our founding fathers did say something that if we do not take care of our continent, that the former oppressors will come back as investors and with one mission to recolonize the continent. And we are seeing that playing out already before us. So this generation must do something. And that is why, one, strengthen our unity, break down barriers that are obstructive, to us from, actualizing who we are as a people. And looking at the world order, the need for Africa and Africans to catch up with the rest of the world and with the best at the front of leadership. So with this, we come to the end of this program, and I remind all those who are here with us, who join us for the very first time but have not subscribed, take a few minutes, to subscribe to our channel and share our message, comment, suggest ways that we can, deploy to make this channel a better channel for the whole of the world. And for our listeners on TikTok, thank you very much. We see a great number out there coming out from TikTok. If you have not followed me, follow me and subscribe to our channel out there too. And Facebook, thank you. We've been with you, and I am still on Facebook, not because I want to be on Facebook. Facebook has not been that great, for me, but for our listeners from Nigeria who says it's cheaper for them, that is why I am still broadcasting on Facebook. Otherwise, I'm done with Facebook. But I will continue to bring the message directly to our listeners on Facebook, Africans who, because of cost of data, they find it easier to use Facebook. So continue to run there. Otherwise, we love you guys and look forward to seeing you in our next stream. Bye for now. And it is exactly 1:56 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas. Bye for now. And I love you guys.